Western astrology is not reliable, mainly based on two things. There are many other factors, but if I had to choose, these are two main things as to why Western astrology is not reliable. One is because of its calendar, and two is because of its perception of karma. When it comes to the Western calendar, it is called the Gregorian calendar for a reason. It was created back in the 1800s by Gregorian Pope, and the calendar, Western calendar, that the whole entire world follows, even though in the East they do also follow their own lunar calendar, is false. It's fabricated. It forces you to celebrate the New Year's in the dead of winter and to just make sure that you're scheduling your taxes properly and that you're working a 9 to 5 and have the weekends off if you're lucky. And to understand this, Thanksgiving is on Thursday every single year for the rest of your human existence. In the East, whenever there's a New Year happening, New Year is happening on a different date, a different day of the week, a different date of the month, sometimes a different week, because it's following the celestial bodies. That's the original calendar, right? And in the West, when they're forcing people to live this calendar, it's making them out of flow with their regular biological calendar, which causes a lot of issues today. But more importantly, this shows how Western astrology is not reliable, because Western astrology is solely based on this baby calendar that was created, like literally baby. And if you think about it, if this calendar barely existed, it's only been a couple hundred years since it existed. A couple hundred, not thousands, not millions, nothing. Then that's like what? A few generations worth. Western astrology is a baby. It's not reliable for your spiritual practice, for your spiritual life. That also includes the Western calendar. So that's one. The second thing is karma. A lot of people use the word karma as if it's English and as they understand what it means. English is a very poor language, which is why we need lots of words in order to express ourselves. Whereas in Sanskrit, where karma comes from, you can say one word and mean so many different things. It's a very rich language. And so we have these poor people, not based on money, just based on language and expression. We have these poor people using a very rich language and misusing it. Naturally so, right? If you give a poor person $1 million, they immediately loses the $1 million, right? It goes away instantly. So, same way with karma, it is being misused. Karma does not mean good or bad. A lot of people have this idea that karma is the more bad you put out, the more bad you get back. The more good you put out, the more good you get back. And if that was the case, everyone would be doing good, right? Everyone would be doing good all the time to get more good things happening to them. But it doesn't happen that way. Because dharma isn't fair. Nature isn't fair. A wave can come now and wipe out a whole entire city. Is that good or bad? We can't say, oh my gosh, nature is evil. No. And as per cosmology, Ayurveda, Feng Shui, Vastu, astrology, there is no such thing as good or bad. When you understand this, you understand that everything that is considered good or bad is going to be dependent on a person's lifestyle, and it's going to be depending on a person's ability to have a wider perspective about their situation, rather than this keyhole logic perspective of, oh, this is bad for me and this is good for me. Okay? You're going to be able to see the bigger picture. Karma is something that you can study for months. It's not something that you can easily understand it, but you need to actually go and at least look at the definition and read a few paragraphs of what karma is, and in order to understand it, it's not something that's like good or bad. Because usually when someone hears karma, like if I'm doing a reading and I say, oh, I see that you have karma with your mother, that can mean so many different things. If I say that, it doesn't mean that you have a bad relationship with your mother. It doesn't also mean that you have a great relationship with your mother. There's just this very strong significance between the person and their mother that can express depending on a person's chart. Sometimes they don't get the chance to have a mother in their life. Sometimes they end up getting a stepmother and not their biological mother. Maybe they end up being an orphan. Maybe they weren't able to get the emotional nourishment they wanted from their mother, right? But maybe the mother was a working girl and they couldn't. But at the same time, like, doesn't mean that the relationship is bad, right? So when you understand all of these different angles of how this can express, then you understand that there is no good or bad in your chart. It's just depending on how you want to see it. Like if we look at nervousness, where people get anxiety from, and excitement, they're the same exact hormone. They're the same exact chemical, the same exact energy. It's just dependent on the person to decide. Like, for example, if I'm going to go on a date with someone I never met before, I'm going to be a little nervous. I never met them before. I'm excited, but I'm so excited that now it's overflowing in my bucket and turning into nervousness. Getting it? But I'm not necessarily nervous where I'm like scared. No, it's that I am very excited. Okay? So take this with a grain of salt. When you're hearing people, about Western astrology, there's a reason why people say that Vedic astrology, they tend to find it more accurate. There's a reason for that. Okay? If you are wanting to learn more about Vedic astrology, I have a free class in my community. The link is in the description and the link is in the comment for you to join today. Okay? And I'll see you guys in the next video.